Hi guys, welcome back to Planet Mithril. My name is Mithril and today I have for you my take on how to paint Bofur the Dwarf. Yes, sadly without his big stompy troll brute friend, but that's for another video. Today I am rejoining our dwarven compatriots with this truly wise and lovable character. I think Bofur here is the best example of dwarvish culture on iconography on something that isn't armour plating. The harsh line work over his jacket and trousers contrast really well with the softer sleeves, fluffy furs, and of course that big old floppy hat. Well, I hope you guys enjoy painting those because a lot of them are coming in this video. But don't worry, I've got you covered. I'll be working my Bofur off a black undercoat which I've applied with Citadel Cow's Black Spray. Brush is ready guys, let's get to it. I'm beginning by base coating Bofur's face and fingers now using Bugman's Glow. His hair and beard now I'm base coating using Dryad Bark. His floppy hat and boots are being given a base coat using Mornfang Brown. The fur cuffs at the top of his boots and on the front of his hat now are being base coated using Rakarth Flesh. The main body of his coat, namely the ridge pattern clothing, his trousers and cuffs are being base coated using Steel Legion Drab. His sleeves and any flappy material hanging down underneath the jacket now are being base coated using XV88. His belt, pouches, remaining lower cloth and shaft of the mattock are being base coated with Rhinox hide. His scarf and the straps around the head of the mattock now are being picked out with Doable Brown. And the final step is to give the head of the mattock a coat of Leadbelcher. All the skin is being shaded back using Reikland Flesh Shade. And the entirety of the rest of Bofur now, save the mattock head, is being shaded down uniformly using Agrak Surf Shade, making sure in particular to work this into the recesses and creases over the coat. Finally, the mattock head is being shaded down using Nuln Oil. I'm inlaying the structure of Bofur's face and hands now using a 1-to-1 mix of Bugman's Glow and Cadian Flesh Tone, leaving the shade showing in the recesses. This is being followed by a second layer using pure Cadian Flesh Tone, further defining what exposed face there is and separating out his fingers more. An initial highlight is being applied now with a rough 2-to-1 mix of Cadian Flesh Tone to Kislev Flesh. With the final highlight being applied to the brow, nose bridge, upper cheekbones and knuckles now, by adding more Kislev Flesh into my previous mixture. Finally, the eyes are being picked out using Abaddon Black and finished off with 2 dots of padded bitch flesh either side. I'm layering over the hair and beard now with a 1-to-1 mix of Dryad Bark and Gawthor Brown, creating some texture over the beard and moustache and carefully layering over the individual braided sections hanging down the sides and back of his head. I'm continuing to build up texture over all the hair now using pure Gawthor Brown, being more targeted and focused on defining individual strands across these surfaces. I'm now applying a quick highlight with a 2-to-1 mix of Gawthor Brown and Padded Bitch Flesh. This will desaturate the brown slightly and hint at his age, giving a subtle grey tone to the upper levels of hair and beard. I'm layering up the hat and boots now with a 2-to-1 mix of Mornfang Brown and Cadian Flesh Tone, leaving the shade showing in the recesses. And then increasing the amount of Cadian Flesh Tone in my mix for the next layer stage, focusing on framing more of the outline and structure of both the hat and the booties. This is being followed by an extreme edge highlight just around the edges and curve of the hat and boots now with pure Cadian Flesh Tone. Finally, I'm hitting the hat and boots with a glaze of Reikland Flesh Shade. The fur on the hat and at the tops of the boots is now being stipple layered using a 1-to-1 mix of Rakarth flesh and Screaming Skull. The stippling here will create a slightly more authentic wool effect, particularly as I continue through my highlights. This is being followed up with another layer, this time using pure Screaming Skull, applied in the same manner as the previous layer but being slightly more targeted and precise to build up my blend. Finally, a dot highlight is being applied with a 1-to-1 mix of Screaming Skull and Pallid Witch Flesh. The main body of the coat and trousers now is being built up with a layer using a 2-to-1 mix of Steel Legion Drab and Balor Brown. You can see how I'm carefully picking out all the individual ridges and vertical lines, leaving the shade showing in the recesses between each panel. The cuffs and shoulders will need more solid coverage as there's less defined texture over these surfaces. I'm adding more Balor Brown into my mix and continuing to build up the strength of my yellow tones over my jacket, being slightly more targeted here to start building up a gradual blend. My mix at this point is made up roughly of 2 parts Balor Brown to 1 part Steel Legion. My first highlight is now being applied using pure Balor Brown, concentrating on my line work and keeping my strokes as precise and unbroken as possible to avoid covering up previous layers. I'm now applying a highlight using a 1-to-1 mix of Balor Brown and Screaming Skull. You can see how I'm being super precise and targeted with my line work here, really trying to take advantage of that angular dwarven design showing through Bofur's garb as much as I can. I want the sleeves to be subtly different to the yellows of the jacket, mainly to help break up the model ever so slightly. With the sleeves, I'm applying a layer now with a 2-to-1 mix of XV88 and Ungor flesh, even the shade showing in the recessed folds. These sections are nowhere near as angular as his coat was. A second layer is now being applied again by upping the amount of Ungor flesh in my mix, much like the jacket, sitting at around the same ratio of 2 parts Ungor flesh to 1 part XV88 base tone. with an edge highlight going on the upper folds and creases over the sleeves now using pure Ungor flesh. With the yellows finally finished and looking just the way I want them to, I'm adding a light glaze using some heavily diluted Reikland flesh shade. Now there's some angular diamond ridging on Bofur's knees, and it's perfectly fine if you want to paint these yellow to match the rest, but I want something slightly different just to frame them a little bit more. So I'm going to go over and pick up these ridges now using Doombull Brown. These diamond ridges, as well as Bofur's scarf and the mattock wrapping, are now being layered up with a 2-to-1 mix of Doombull Brown and Cadian Flesh Tone. Highlight is now being applied using a 2-to-1 mix, this time in favour of Cadian Flesh Tone over the Doombull Brown. The remaining hanging cloth, his tobacco pouch, belt and mattock shaft are being layered up with a 1-to-1 mix of Rhinox hide and Baneblade Brown. With a fine edge highlight of pure Baneblade Brown going over these areas next. With the mattock head finally being highlighted using Runefang Steel. And with that, another member of Thorins Company and the heart and soul of the 13 dwarvish companions is finished and ready to join his friends. This marks us nearing the end of my Thorins Company series. Well, journey, I guess you'd say. Who would you like to see next? I believe we only have 4 left to tackle, if my dwarven maths is right. For basing tips and tricks, please head over and check out my 5-minute bases playlist. Thank you so much for everyone for watching our video today. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit that bell to make sure you never miss a Mithril upload. And thank you so much to all of our patrons. Your support is greatly appreciated over at Mithril Towers. Take care guys, and as always, happy hobbying.